Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're once again back in Warframe for another build, and this time we're having a look at the Sancti Magistar. This build will work more as a comparison video between before and after the changes to slam attacks. So yeah, bear with me and let's see what the potential is now and what it will be later after those changes. And yes, this is just going to be your usual slam build. We're just gonna slam the ground over and over and pretty much kill everything. It's not the most riveting of playstyles, but it is quite effective. Anyways, that's enough introductions for now, so let's jump into the build. Starting from the Incarnon evolutions. Your first evolution grants you access to the actual Incarnon form that you can activate by performing a heavy attack after reaching 6x combo. And when it's active, grants you 100% more melee damage, 30 more initial combo, 50 heavy attack wind-up speed, 10% more sprint speed, and 10% more parkour velocity. The second evolution has two choices, but I do recommend going for Edge of Justice that grants you 20 more base damage and 40% more attack speed when you have your melee weapon equipped. Moving to evolution 3, we have three choices, but I only recommend going for the first one because it grants you additional slam radius. And that's all we want in a slam build. And the final evolution also has three choices to choose from, but in this case we only want to pump those crit stats up, and we do that by choosing critical parallel for a 12% increase in base crit chance and an additional 0.2x to our base crit damage. The weapon also comes with a unique trait that grants you additional healing to you and your allies when you deal damage to enemies, and an additional 20% status effect resistance while equipped. It has an attack speed of 1.4, which is quite fast, range of 2.6 meters, which does not really matter because we are only focusing on the slam radius, and a Riven disposition of 4 out of 5, so Rivens are going to be quite good, and I do recommend getting one if you can, but only after the update because we don't know how good slam builds will be after those changes. Critical chance is 42%, which is insanely high. Crit damage is 2.2, which is above average, and status chance is 20%. And since we only care about slam attacks, we are gonna focus on this number, which means we deal 740 base damage. In Incarnon form, the stats remain pretty much unchanged, other than our damage, which goes up to be double the amount we had at base. And these are the mods I'm using for this build. You can go with any stance you want because we only care about additional capacity, Galvanized Reflex for additional heavy attack efficiency, and initial combo after killing enemies. This grants us a 5x combo multiplier at all times if we keep killing enemies. Then I'm using Killing Blow for 120% more melee damage on heavy attacks, Sacrificial Pressure and Sacrificial Steel to gain a massive amount of crit chance and also a lot more melee damage, Seismic Wave for 200% more slam attack damage, Gladiator Might and Orgna Shatter for a lot more crit damage and also 10% more melee crit chance per combo multiplier. And the last mod I'm using is Corrupt Charge for an additional 30 initial combo at the cost of our combo duration. And the arcane I recommend using is Melee Exposure that grants us an additional 240 more crochet damage after casting abilities, and that will be our main source of elemental damage, and yeah, we're gonna hit for some very funny numbers. And that's pretty much the whole build, so let's now see it in action. And as always, I'm going to test against 20 Corrupted Heavy Gunners level 225 with Steel Path modifiers, because they are very tanky enemies and they are quite hard to deal with. And the first thing we want to do is actually cast a bunch of abilities to stack our melee exposure to 240%, and then we can start just slamming the ground and deal quite a lot of damage from just the get-go. The thing is that in Simulacrum enemies will just go all over the place, so I might have to reach 6x combo by actually performing a bunch of base attacks, which is not how you're gonna do it in a real mission. But the moment we reach 6x, we can activate our Incarnon form, and after doing that we have a massive slam radius, and we are dealing quite a lot more damage in an even bigger AoE. Hello there, this is Editing Lord, and I just noticed I forgot to refresh my melee exposure arcane, so that's why I'm only dealing a little bit more damage. You usually will see higher numbers, so yeah, sorry for the interruption, that's pretty much it. Now with some fresh enemies, let's try again, and this is what you can expect without applying any armor shape to enemies or having any additional buff on yourself, because of course this is just how the weapon performs at base, and it's quite powerful honestly, since you're hitting like enemies that are about I think 15 or 20 meters away from you, which is yeah, it's definitely perfectly balanced. Okay, let's now try with our roar buff and let's see what we are dealing with. Yes, quite a lot more damage, and all enemies are just gone in a couple of slams, which, yeah, it's perfectly balanced. And of course, we're gonna also test with our Panzer Wupperweiler, because he can apply viral for us, and we also gain 1.2x more crit damage, and additionally he can strip armor and a bunch of other stuff, which is quite useful to have. And if you care about the claws build, this is the one I'm running, but of course, if you wanna use something else, just go for it. Okay, anyways, let's wait for our pet to apply viral, and then we can start hitting enemies. And yeah, it's definitely much more damage we're dealing with. And also, I mean, once again, the AoE is quite big. We just have to perform a very small hop to trigger the massive AoE that this weapon has. And yeah, like, once again, that's why they are changing it, so you have to go a lot higher than usual to actually have the maximum radius for slam attacks, which I think it makes sense, but also I don't know how balanced it will be. Anyways, that's pretty much what we're dealing with. And yeah, that's pretty much the Sancti Magistar. Although the new update might change how good this weapon is, I still think it will be worth using because of the raw damage this weapon can actually deal. And of course, you also have the passive, which heals you and grants you status resistance, which is also quite nice to have. Anyways, I'll now leave you guys to the showcase where I test this build for 5 minutes in a steel pad survival, so you can see how it performs in a more realistic scenario. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, and if you like my content, consider subscribing. I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.
ain't no sinner. Rage under my skin, slowly descend to madness. Let it spread like a virus. Be a friend with the violence. There's blood on my hands. Somebody save me from myself. I'm off with the meds and it might get hideous. Why so serious? Run for your life, cause it might get hideous. Why so serious? Change comes here soon. Never mind, I forgot where I came from. Like wolves in the darkness, we forgot with the blindness. Fall asleep with the sirens out. It's blood.